Hey, there you go. Hey, what's up, people? Yeah. What's up? It's September, man. Told you guys, and we'll be out here, man. You guys are gonna get bored of me, man. You're gonna yeah, fuck this guy, Rob, man. But yeah, I want to tell you is today I was doing a little shopping with my son, walking on First Avenue. This guy gets out of his car, and he's like, "Yo, your ID?" And I said, "Yeah. Who are you?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm Jack." I believe he said, "Jack." Yeah. He's like, "Yo, I love your shit on YouTube, man. Keep it going, man." You know, did the little fist thing, you know, kept it moving. That's the fourth time that happened to me, and that to me is cool, man. That's good. I like that, you know, like that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. So that gives me drive. Also the fact that Comet has actually got in touch with me, you know, Comet and Blade, TC5 and shit, you know. I mean, Comet really, like he says, man, he did the blockbusters, he invented them. I think he's actually the person that started calling them blockbusters. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Trike is another person that has gotten in touch with me on here. Said he watches it. Trike, he used to do these TO fill-ins, man. He had a lot of shit going, man. A lot. He was up there, man. He was up there with like Min and Iz and them, man, and Quick and them. He had a lot of shit. I actually wrote with them a lot of the times. Yeah, I mean, he put in a lot of work. So that means something to me, man. It really does, you know. Like I said, 4 people came up to me now since I've been doing this. And that's cool, man. That's real cool. Thanks, guys. That's kind of like what I'm doing. You know, I'm just afraid of, not that I'm afraid of death. I mean, no one wants to fucking die or anything. But I don't want to die and then have some asshole that never fucking met me a day in my life start talking all this crap about all this shit and what graffiti meant to me and stuff like that. You know, I see shit like that. You know what really got me started on this was Hector Camacho. I watch a lot of old fights, you know, on YouTube and stuff. I love the old fights, you know, bare knuckle, I go through it, man. But, you know, Hector Camacho, you know, he lived uptown. I went to school with his little brother. I knew his little brother very well, Felix Camacho. And Lydia also went to school with me. And, you know, I knew the Camachos. It kind of put me in a sad place, man. It really did, you know? Because you got a bunch of, like, ring announcers and shit and this and that. And, I mean, you know, it's just, I don't know. I figured no one could do it better than you do it yourself, you know what I mean? And that's kind of like what I'm doing here. I don't want people to sit around and come up with some weird theory like they do with artists and shit, like they do this and do that, and then they put their own twist on it. Meanwhile, the guy probably wasn't even thinking of that shit when he fucking painted it, you know what I'm saying? So I figure, yo, let me let you people know where my head was at with this whole thing, man. And, yeah. That's pretty much what I want to do, and I feel as if I'm accomplishing that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get a lot of these negative dudes out there with all that bullshit. Yo, come on, man, get a life. This is a funny one. Like, they're actually starting these new memes and shit like that, but yeah, that's been going on. They call me a fag, a transvestite, a crackhead, all types of crazy shit. It doesn't bother me, you know, but the funniest thing I got, you know, they call me a white trailer trash, and I'm like, excuse me. I take deep offense to that. I am what is known as white tenement trash. There is no trailers on the Upper East Side. You're one of the richest neighborhoods on the face of this fucking earth, man. Hey, you want to talk about fucking trash, you try and pay the fucking rent in this fucking neighborhood, man. For real. Try and do that shit legally, man, then come to me with that bullshit. And you want to also talk about getting a life? Look at what you're doing. You know, like inventing accounts and like going through all this trouble, like under the hopes that I might actually see it or something. Like, talk about get a life, get off my fucking dick. Anyway, that's enough with that. I actually get a kick out of this shit. Some of it I save it, you know, and I show it to my friends. I mail it to them all, like, oh, you know. So yeah, I don't give a fuck about that. And I really do feel as if I'm accomplishing what I'm trying to do. And I'm truly sorry that I'm not a good spokesperson. I talk funny, you know. I like a lot of I talk how everyone used to talk, but now like New York itself isn't even New Yorkers. It's like all these people moving from all over. You really hardly ever hear people with my type of vocabulary. and hand movements. You know, people think I'm an Italian or something, you know, like, I'm not. I actually have no Italian blood in me whatsoever. I have Irish, German, Dutch, shit like that, yes. No Italian blood in me whatsoever. As a matter of fact, all my friends, everyone in 357, they're all mutts. Every single one of them are all mixed with something or another. Well, no, actually, being I live and grew up in Germantown, Yorkville, we do have a couple of Germans. Like Lace ESP is full-blooded German, mother and father both German. Sammy, D3, mother and father both German. PK, no. He came from this neighborhood originally. I mean, everyone knows him as the Astoria King, Queens, and this and that. He did a lot of damage, but he actually lived in this neighborhood before he moved to Queens, and he's full-blooded German, to the best of my knowledge. Yeah. Other than that, John Zavolis, JJ, he was Greek and Irish. Frankie Gator was Italian and Irish. Yeah, there's no full-blooded Italians, really. I could think of, well, Ron, but he was actually related to Matty the Horse, Matty Iannello from Umberto's downtown. So, yeah, he's Italian, of course. Yeah, a bunch of people. But, you know, it's funny. A lot of people used to think that me and JJ and Sammy, and, you know, Sammy's D3, and that we were like racist or something like that. But, no, it's not true either. It's far from the truth. No racism. I mean, we weren't skinheads. The reason we shaved our heads was because normally we would catch lice or fleas or some crazy shit, and I'd get it, and Sammy'd get it, and John get it, or whoever would get it first. It don't matter. It'd ping pong, go back and forth. We'd all lay in the same bed together. We'd fall asleep or something, you know, and we'd catch fleas or something like that, or lice or something, cut our hair off and shit. You know, they treat it and shit, you know, like my mom, Sammy's mom, you know, blah, 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 John, you know, we come home with lice, so they'd shave our fucking heads. I mean, we were doing that before punk rock was even like punk rock and shit. I mean, don't get me wrong, you look at the book, Decades of Graffiti and CBGBs, I got like, so like Decades of Graffiti and CBGBs, like literally, like you could see the Ramones and shit standing there as an RD tag. You could see Deborah Harry, Blondie standing over, there's another RD tag. I mean, it's a whole book about just the graffiti that's in CBGBs. It's pretty interesting. You guys ever want to look for it? There's a lot of RD tags in it. I had the big amplifier, my things and stuff, but yeah. I went to CBGBs a lot. What else do we want to talk about here? You see, I don't want to just come on here to come on here, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I just kind of went on here to talk to you guys and let you know I'm out here. But let me get back to the actual shit that I do on this thing, which is the graffiti and stealing motorcycles and shit like that. Just, I don't even know what avenue to take this fucking thing on, you know? Like, I could pick anything, like growing up in New York and stealing and this and that, or I could do the graffiti thing, or I could go down to old New York, drug abuse. I mean, I can do all types of shit. But, all right, so I was talking about me and Just running around writing graffiti. It's getting close to the year 2000 at this point, new millennium. And I teamed up with this guy, Skay. That's right. So I would be out writing graffiti with the 7 cans of spray paint, 3 nights a week with Just. Then, in the daytime, I was actually running around with this guy, Skay, and we were doing these huge, big fucking blockbusters. Well, he would do a fill-in, like a bubble letter. I'd do my normal blockbuster. I wasn't too happy with most of them blockbusters I did, because I like to do them, like I always say, fat and wide, long, stretch it. And if it's a gate, I kind of got to go tall, and I can't stretch it, so it's more tall and thin, then long and fat. So it was a little off my game, and like some of them came out. I just think that the holes in some of my R's and some of my D's are a little bigger than I'd like them to be. And I remember Skay actually pointed that out to me. And yeah, me and Skay, once again, we did that shit in the course of 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Yeah. Like a little over a month. We had this whole fucking... Well, then I didn't want to do those things in Manhattan. So I think the first run out was Brooklyn. We were doing them things all over Brooklyn during some Jewish holiday or some shit like that, when people aren't allowed to pick up the phone and call the cops or something like that. I forget the whole deal behind it. I mean, that's going back 20-something years. Then the next time we did it, I believe it was around Easter or something like that the next year, and that was Queens. That's when we took over Queens. We tore Queens up pretty good. I'll tell you a good story too. We were on 61st Street and right under the 7 train. Like an auto body shop there or something. Big huge wall. We'd come out there and we'd put up tape, like caution tape and shit. We'd have our little fucking belt with a little measuring tape and shit. We'd have a little coffee there, you know, it'd be early in the morning, we'd dress like construction workers. Just do the whole fucking thing like a big silver. You know, then real quick, you throw a fucking outline on it, hop in the car and get the fuck out of there. But there was this one time we were doing it right there. A lot of you guys are going to get very upset at me for dropping this story right now. The guy died, and he used to hang out with Ghost and Venom. But yeah, we were doing big fill-ins. I was done with mine. It's actually, I'm going to put some of these pictures on with these things. The picture I'm going to put on of the one that I did that day, there's going to be a little phone booth like right here, and the RV is huge on a gate, right? I did that real quick. It's actually facing the 7 train on 61st Street or something like that. And then skated the whole sidewall, and this little muscular guy comes up to us. He's kind of tan, you know, muscular, but short, very short, and very muscular. He possibly lifted weights or something like that. I mean, he might just be one of those dudes that were born kind of physically strong, like JJ, because of his height. You know, these people, it's like dwarfism or something. Like you see someone like me, I got a long way from here to here. So to build a big bicep, it's a lot of fucking work. If you got a small arm, you know, it's easier. You get the idea. So anyway, this guy comes up and, I don't know, Skate just starts sucking this dude's dick. Like, he just starts jocking this guy so fucking hard, man. I don't even know what's going on, because I'm kind of like touching my shit up, you know? I'm like, what the fuck, man? This dude's like having a love affair with this motherfucker or something, you know? Like, for real. It was like he met, like, the ultimate, like, he was there, the guy's fan, you know? So I walk over, and the guy's doing a fill-in. E-A. He writes an E and an A. Silver. Right? He does it in silver, fills it in real nice and thick. It's about this big. E-A. The letter E, the letter A. He passed away. Of course, this is before he passed away. But he did an EA. Filled it in. I don't know, maybe he didn't know I was there or something, you know? So I come walking around the corner. Like, yo, what's up? He's like, yo, this is that guy, EA. And I'm like, EARIS? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, you down with Ghost and them, right? He's like, yeah, man. I was like, yo, man, what's up? You know, I shook his hand. I said, what am I going to do, beat the guy up? He's this fucking tall, man, you know? So, yeah, I shake his hand. Yeah, cool, man. He said, yo, I'll be right back, man. I just got to go get these groceries, man. And for my girl, man, like, as a child, I don't know what it was, something to do with milk or some shit like that. So he leaves, he goes into the store, over on this side somewhere, he comes back out, he's like, yo, right back. You know, so he's got bags, he actually bought groceries. And he went around the corner, it's like 10, 15 minutes. But yo, he never outlined his thing, he just left it sober, right? So now Skay is like sitting on a fucking milk crate waiting for this guy to come back, right? So, I'm like, all right, you know, dude, like, what the fuck? Let's keep it going, man. Let's go get another spot, man, before it gets too late. You know, well, let's do this. You know, I want to get to, you know, this and that. That's EARIS, you know, because I guess Skay is from that area. So, you know, he's from Queens, and he's from the same neighborhood as these people. So I'm surprised he didn't bump into him before. Like, these guys could have this whole little love fest some other time. I don't know. I never really, like, do that, I guess is the word to put. But yeah, he was infatuated by this guy, EA. So he's waiting for him. So I take a case. You know, we had milk crates filled with these paints. What we would do is we'd get these cheap paints. I don't know if I have one laying around here. Well, I got the ones we would take. Now, you got this cheap Martin's paint. I forget what it was called, like Touch Tone or some shit. It was like $1.69 a can. So we would peel off the barcode of those cans, and we'd put them on these Rustos. You know, and then we would we would get cans of Rusto for like $1.69 each. Skay knew one of the ladies that was working at the cash register. So we were doing this at Home Depot right off of the Guitar Center. It was at Northern Boulevard or something. We go in there like, literally, I'd have a shopping cart full of the cheap paint, and he'd have a shopping cart full of the expensive paint, the Rusto shit. Then we'd have an empty shopping cart. Like we'd go down some plant aisle and we'd just peel them off and bing, bing, bing. It got to the point where Skay actually just started having these barcodes already printed up on like wax paper. And we would just stick them real neatly right over. We wouldn't even bother peeling off the other ones. We would just stick it perfectly right over it. As he had a connection with a cash register lady. So boop, 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 and we get all the paint. So anyway, we're doing this thing. Let me get back to the story. So fills this thing in silver, EA, right? So now, Skay's got a car. I'm over near the car. I'm picking up these milk crates filled with paint. I'm putting them in the trunk of his car. As I'm doing it, I see a cop car come flying down the block, right? And as it turns this way, I can't see it. I can see it's a cop car, but when it turns this way to come right at us, out the back window of that cop car, because he had a wife beater on, he had the same exact clothes on he had when he walked up to us and talked to us. And he's like this with his hand out the cop car window. Yo, right there, yo, like, yo, it was EA. EA called the cops, got in the fucking cop car, and came to fucking where we were fucking painting, and said, yo, there they are right there. So they came and they grabbed Skay. I took the hood of the trunk of Skay's car, I closed it, I walked, it's almost like a dead end at that block. And then you go here, there's a bar, an Irish bar, straight ahead. Now at that point I was living at 2110 21st Street in Astoria, Queens. I owned a house. I physically owned this 3-family house there. So all you people that think I'm a bum or something, all you hear about is me living over here, me living over there, me here, Upper East Side, Manhattan, you know. I'm not a fucking bum. I just don't dress fancy. I'm not materialistic. So I owned that house. I actually wound up selling it to a friend of mine, actually to a graffiti writer, and his cousin's a graffiti writer that bought the house. So I'm not going to get into their names. I don't know, you guys might have problems with them. You go right all over the guy's house or something. But yeah, and so I sold that house, moved down to Jamaica, to West Indies for a while. But anyway, getting back to this situation. EA did the silver filling on the wall, never outlined it, right? So now, Skay is actually outlining the fucking thing for him. And on the A, he's in the middle of doing a pair of sunglasses on the A, or was it the E? One of the letters, Skay put a pair of sunglasses on it, like a pair of Ray-Bans or something like from the Blues Brothers or something, you know? They said, yo, that's how you know what I'm saying. So I'm like, I slam down the hood of the trunk of the car. I go into this Irish bar. I'm like, excuse me, you guys got a cab service? They're like, yeah, right there. It's written on the wall near the payphone. Payphones were big back then, you know. So yeah, the payphone. Like, yeah, can you come pick me up? What's the name of this bar? They tell me the name of the bar. Livery cab comes, picks me up, drives me to my place. The next day, Skay gets out of going through the system. He got arrested. He gets out from going through the system because EA ratted on him. EA was in the cop car. Like, I don't care, you know, come at me with paperwork or come at me with this and that. God rest the dude's soul, he's dead. But, yo, with my fucking eyes, these fucking eyes in my fucking head, this shit fucking happened. All right? EA-RIS was in that cop car, hanging out like a dog. You know how the dogs stick their head out the window? Half his body was out the window. His hand was like this. He still had the wife beater on. I remember it was a navy blue fucking wife beater on top, cut in half with red this way. You know, and his arm was out the window. Like, the guy was maybe 100 and something feet away from me. Frick, I'm looking at him. He actually got out the car when they were handcuffed with Skay like this. You know what I mean? He was honestly like there, like involved. Yo, I'm the boys! So anyway, getting back to that shit, yeah, EA honestly did that. So Skay goes through the system, gets out, goes before the judge or something like that, you know. He gets out of the system, and I'm like, look, okay, this is what you got to do. You know, gets in touch with me. I didn't give a fuck, because I'm going down to Jamaica. the West Indies for the rest of my life. Like, I was not planning on coming back to New York. I have property down in West Indies, yeah. In Westmoreland, Jamaica. I have a piece of property, an acre and a half of land on the water. So I was moving anyway. I'm like, oh, they could arrest me all day, every day. As soon as I get out the system, they give you a court date that's a month later. So I didn't give a fuck. By the time that month later comes, I'm already fucking sitting on the beach smoking spliffs. You know what I mean? Of course that didn't work out too well. I'm just a criminal, man. I fucked that shit up so bad, man. My baby's mother got murdered and a whole mess of shit down there in Jamaica. But anyway, getting back to this thing. I told Skay, I said, yo, Skay, first thing you got to do is get in touch with that fucking store, that auto body store. Offer them money. Offer them to clean the wall. Offer them to paint the wall. And it's called restitution. So this way, when it gets to court, you can say you handled it. You know, no foul, no thing. The number one thing is you got to talk to the people there. See if you could somehow get them to agree to not press charges, or like I said, a restitution. Like you took care of it, you know, this and that, blah, 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 outside the courts. You know, so he did that, and I believe that's pretty much what worked out. I think he had to give the guy $250. I mean, we did the whole fucking thing. Like I said, we were out there like we're supposed to do it, you know. And it was on a Sunday, like when they're not open and shit like that early, you know. But yeah, that's a true fucking story. So he got out of that system, and he did that, and that was the end of that. But yes, that was EA, RIS. Yeah, that's what he did, yeah. Like I said, I never met the man before that. I did meet him after that one time. I was going out with this girl, Erica, and she bought weed off him once. I didn't even say, I knew who he was. I didn't tell Erica. I didn't even mention it to him. You know, I figured, what the fuck am I going to do? Started beating the guy up, then my girlfriend will be nasty with me or something, you know? I mean, it just, every way I thought of the situation, it didn't work well for me. If I did anything, I wouldn't get no pussy that night, you know? So I just figured let me keep my mouth shut. I do that a lot, man. I bite my own tongue, you know? But I'll tell you one thing, no one can ever say I hide. No one can ever say I fucking hide. I might not be too quick to get arrested by the police and shit, but when it comes to writers and shit, everyone knows me. Like I said, 4 people so far since I've been doing this have walked up to me and said, yo, you write RD? And I'm like, yes, RD. Just like I said, when Destiny's crew had the gun to me, them dudes could have been there for us and hated me, but I'm not going to not say me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, RD 357. Like, I'm either going to get it or not. You know, like, people don't live like that no more, you know? And I think that would be a pretty interesting story. But yeah, me and Skay got a lot of crazy stories, man. I did a lot of graffiti with him, man, in such a short period of time. And that's kind of like with the podcast I did before about Korn. I believe that might have had something to do with this Korn COK guy, the guy with one leg that I threw his leg out in the middle of the street. Yeah, I believe that he was upset that Skay started hanging out with me to write graffiti. But, I mean, I ain't involved with all that love fest shit. That's between y'all. You want to come write with me? Write with me, man. You know, I never said Korn can't write with me, but I'm not a 3-man dude, man. I don't do threesomes, man. Nah, unless it's in the subways, on the ground. But at that point, man, 3's a crowd, you know, straight up, man. 2 people. You look at me, I go out with 2 people. Me and Just tore shit up. You'll never ever see any other person in the mix with that. I did go with O.R. Alex and them up to the Hall of Fame. We did some graffiti together, but that's just the Hall of Fame fucking around. But if I'm out there hitting the streets, I just go with one person, and I keep going with that same one person. Same with R.E., Mike. It passed away also. I went with him for 12 fucking years straight. You ain't never seen me with nobody else. No one, there's very few people on this earth that can actually say they hung out with me and saw me writing graffiti. There's very few people that could do that. But yeah, I figured that'd be interesting. I mean, also a lot of you guys are asking me a lot about JA and this and that. Now you guys are actually starting to get nasty with me, like badgering me, like I'm avoiding the conversation or like I'm scared or something like that. Yo, first off, it's like the other way around. Like I really had no respect for him early on. I've known JA before we had problems with him. I met him with O.A. Nash. And the truth of the matter is, I don't like people that start shit and they're not willing to bang. They're not willing to fucking fight. That is like, that's that hide and go seek shit. I never liked that. I never ever liked that shit. But as time went by, this guy J.A., he's gotten a couple of fights, and at this point I actually like the dude. I believe he's one dude that did a lot, man. He really fucking did. You could put him up there at the top, #1. I mean, as far as it goes with all city. But I mean, like I said, I don't separate fill-ins from tags. So I also look at Easy as above him, you know. Even, well, Easy stopped for a long time and didn't write graffiti for a very long time. But I would say it's up there between Cost, RD, which is me, JA and Easy. It's not in that order. I mean, any God-forgiven time, one dude would go off more than the next guy. But I actually learned to have a lot of respect for JA. I've hung out with him. TFV brought him to my house up at Hunts Point. And like I said, JA actually, I mean, I could get into it. I'll get into it when I get more followers. Like, I don't want to keep repeating myself over and over again. And it's not like I'm chasing followers, and I could live without talking about it. I mean, people want to know about JA, bug him about opening up his own fucking channel. You know what I mean? I don't know. I honestly must say, I get it. He did a lot of graffiti, and in other people's eyes, they could look at it like, wow. But once again, if you're not like backing that shit up, it's just, you're like a nuisance. You're just like an annoyance, like a fucking flea. You know what I mean? Like, that's my honest opinion. But I have gained a lot of respect for him towards the end. I just do not respect people that start shit with people and then they do everything in their fucking power to not meet that person. They'll even like move, or they'll go here, or they'll go there, or they'll, oh shit, that's him. No, like they'll run. Like, nah, I can't do that. That's not me. Another thing, a lot of you guys keep telling me that I should check out Sammy Gravano's page. His not his Instagram, his YouTube. Sammy Gravano is a Mafia guy. He told on a lot of people. I don't give a fuck about them Gambinos and all that shit with Gotti and them. I don't really care about the fucking Mafia. Matter of fact, any incidents, like I said, I was out there robbing and stealing, and of course when you're doing that shit, like with motorcycles and stuff, you're going to bump into them guys at one point or another. I mean, not those particular human beings, but you're going to get involved with them in one way or another, and every time that's happened to me, I've always gotten jerked. Like, I never came out ahead or even. I just, like, it was a wipe. Like, they know not to, like, expose themselves up front because you won't go and meet them, you know what I mean? It's like, they're bullies. I don't like that. But what I do say also is I can't watch Sammy Gravano's page because he's a rat. He told on people. And like I said, I don't give a fuck. Tell on John Gotti. Tell on this one. Tell on that one. I don't care about those people. But I do care about the chin. The chin is Manhattan. And Manhattan is the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, the chin is Manhattan, you know? And my brother and Lace, both of them went to school with the Chin's son. And, you know, I mean, like what I was saying about Ron and Umberto's and shit like that. You know, I just can't. Like, if you start, and like I said, I don't want to get fucking someone climbing in my bed and shoot me in the fucking head here or something like that. But the truth of the matter is, the moment you start going on these pages and clicking, following, and subscribing, or even on Instagram with like graffiti assholes that are like, nye, 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 nye. Like I said, like people that are like trolls. The minute you give these people like attention, it's almost accepting the fact that they're tattletales, that they rat, you know, that they're snitches. So that's it. Like, I don't even want to be involved with increasing his views. I mean, I got nothing. God forbid if the guy ever dies or something like that, then maybe I'll look at it, you know what I mean? He's got to be an old man by now. But if you really look at it, the more people that accept, oh yeah, but that was a long time ago, Rob. It don't matter, man. Like, nah, you can't allow that. Because once you allow it, it becomes a norm. And then it's already like, see something, say something. It's written on every subway. That's all you see people doing now. I never had to worry about shit like that. Now you got somebody that can get mad at you. You know what I mean? And just like get you in trouble for some shit you did. You know, up in Harlem, they call this shit. I used to get a kick out of this shit. They call it ghetto revenge. Now, hey, Harlem's up and coming now. But back in the days, if a woman got in an argument with another woman and they had kids, first thing they do is they call up ACS, child service. That woman's abusing her kid and this and that. And then they come and get their kids taken. Like, you know, to them, that's like revenge. And like, nah, you can't do shit like that, man. And you can't condone it. You can't allow it. You can't see it. I'm sorry, but that's just me. you know? I don't give a fuck. The whole world could change. You guys could all talk normal like you're from fucking Ohio or something. I'm fucking here. I'm from New York, and I just can't. Even though I'm not even in that life no more. I'm actually, like, not that I was ever a mobster or nothing, but I'm not writing graffiti. I'm not robbing and stealing. I'm doing absolutely nothing wrong. I'm living a completely legal life. Marijuana even became legal, so I'm really living a legal life now. Even the marijuana I smoke is legal. So, yeah, okay? Now, I just don't know how else to put it, but you can't. You can't. If someone's, just like the stories before about coke, I heard things about coke. I never actually said it, or yes or no, or anything like that. I just said to myself, err towards caution. Don't fuck with the dude no more. And I mean, it spun me down. I'm in a situation with the guy every couple of years. I mean, we're cool now. I've actually spoken to him, and I never said that he ratted on me. I never ever said that. A lot of people on here, like trolls and shit like that, they are the ones that start all that shit. But yes, him putting my information on the computer is a form of ratting, but in a sense, it's not like going to the police and ratting, but still, you can't allow it. You can't condone that shit. You can't. And I'll tell you something else. A lot of people wonder why I stay to myself and with the people I stay with. Because when I was on the outs, and nobody liked me, they had this thing called Streets Are Saying Things, this website, Brooklyn-based, the SAS, the Streets Are Saying Things. Now these fucking guys, they didn't care what people put on that thing about me, man. They would let it run, but then you say something about them, they delete it with their moderators and stuff like that. So yeah, the deck's always been stacked against me. I've always been the underdog, and I love that spot, man. That's me. I can be the bad guy. I don't give a fuck, you know? Just, I don't want to be talked about when I'm dead as some saint. You know what I mean? Or some great innovator of graffiti or some shit like that. That's not me. No. That's not what I was looking for. So I figured now, when I'm dead and buried, whenever the fuck that happens, you guys see this shit. You can see the words coming out of my mouth. Me, Robert Brian Dyer, in full mental and body form of mind or something. I'm here, you know, to the best of my knowledge. Whatever the fuck you say. Yo, peace, people. I'm just rambling on here. Peace. Yeah, what's up, people? Yeah, I just came back on. Peace again. I just wanted to say real quick, I'm going to put some pictures on some of the shit that I did with Skay. I don't know, it is just the DWC. You could look for that yourself. We would just run around doing tags. What the fuck, we're not going to take pictures of tags, you know? That's a bit much, yeah. And that's about it. So, yeah, check it out, people. Want to see something cool? Look, I'm going to show you guys real quick. Ow. Whoa, oh. Look at that shit. That's pretty cool, right? Min street sign. And it's big. You know what that shit's on? It's on the Ed Koch, like the Queensboro Bridge. Remember in Star Wars with Ed Koch and Min? That's pretty cool, man. I thought so. Yeah, man. Peace, people.